In today's game of Colt Express, I'm taking TUCO. Not necessarily because this game demonstrates his ability, but because this was just a bit of a wacky game of Colt Express. So I hope you're going to join me here on Legendary Tactics. So this game was a little bit wacky, and you'll see why. Is that we don't even have to go that far into to see that it's a bit of a strange game. But there's 4 bandits, and we have the angry marshal card. We got a tunnel turn, so and I'm moving last, which, you know, again, it's good in a way because you get to see the intentions of the other players, but at the same time, sometimes it's nice to get, first grab of the whatever loot it happens to be there or what have you. So anyway, I'm gonna try looting twice, and that's maybe being a bit greedy. I do have the card to get out of there if I need to. It does leave me open for a punch, but I'm hoping that I can get away with it because, again, to be honest, as I've mentioned in another video, you don't necessarily know whether your opponents have the card that they need at that particular moment. So just because you are afraid of a punch happening, it may not actually be a problem. So anyway, Doc moves away, Django moves in, and I'm going to grab that jewel. And again, a bit surprised I was able to grab that, but that's fine. But the car is getting a bit crowded. Doc moved and then looted, so that may have been a smarter maneuver actually. And and again, I decided I was maybe being a bit greedy, but I grabbed another bag of loot, and Bell punched me real good and knocks me into the next car. I lose the jewel, and Doc just keeps loading up his loot. But interestingly, Django is the one that jumps on that jewel first. So anyway, my plan was to loot twice and get up on the roof, and that was the extent of my plan for the first turn. But I should have looted once and then did that and then figured something else out from there. And then I moved the sheriff. Now my goal here is I'm going for that strongbox. I'm the only character on the roof, and I can zip across. The other one, for the other people, the sheriff's going to be in the way, so it's going to be a long route to get to the point where they're going to be able to compete with me. Doc did a good move moving the sheriff away, because that could have been a disaster for all 3 of them. Doc and Django both move, and so we both know where they're going. And Bell grabs some cards. I'm going to move the sheriff. Doc moves the sheriff. Now that could be a problem. Depends on which way the sheriff moves. I really don't have a ton of choice here, though, in terms of cards. And in retrospect, maybe I should have picked up 3 at this point. But I thought, well, you know what? Let's go downstairs. Maybe the sheriff isn't going to be there, and let's try looting. And if the sheriff is there, maybe we can head down there again and loot again. We'll see how we do. I'm not a huge fan generally of wasting a turn grabbing 3 cards unless I really need to. Only if I've got a lot of bullet cards will I do that generally. I'll try and make it work with whatever I have. So in this case, I was just going to push really hard for the strongbox. And the sheriff card, I believe, I saw that played, so that gave me the opportunity to grab that strongbox. And with TUCO's ability, just to review, is TUCO can shoot a bandit that is in the same car or through the roof. So if you're above them or below them, you can shoot through the roof to get them. Now here's the sheriff. I move over to into position to grab the strongbox, but my timing is a bit off. Of course, Doc didn't go after Bell, went after me. So I have to take a bullet card there, and I'm pushed back up. Now I'm looking forward to trying again later and seeing what I can do there. I don't know what Django is doing grabbing loot up top. I know what I was trying to do there. And Bell's going to, of course, retreat and get away from the sheriff. And Doc's going to head up on the roof, so there's not a lot of loot left in the main cars except in that right next to the sheriff. But luckily Django played the sheriff card, and that left me an opening to grab the strong box. Now everyone's on the same, has the same idea, and luckily the sheriff doesn't knock the loot out of your hand. So even if someone were to play a sheriff at this point and so forth, they'd just send me to the roof where I can maneuver. But due to the end of turn conditions, I do take a card, or a bullet card. So again, for newer players, this is where bullet cards can really come into play here. I draw 3 cards. I've got 2 bullet cards, out of, what is that, 9? Yeah, 2. So that's, essentially not much better than a normal hand, even though I've got a mitt full of cards. So I did not have a card to move up and out of this situation. So I actually decided I'm going to play the sheriff on myself because I need to get up to the roof. I need to be mobile. And in this turn, which is round 3 here, where it's, there's 2 tunnel turns, I have no idea what's going on. But because it's almost impossible to predict. I just, I'm headed to the roof, and I'm going to go for my my gunslinger bonus because with TUCO, in theory, TUCO should be great for that purpose because TUCO has a lot more options to shoot than others do. So I'm just doing a punch as a defensive maneuver. Sometimes if I don't have anything better to do, I'll just punch, because if someone ends up in the same square, in the same space in the car, whatever, then I can punch them and before they punch me and steal my loot. So stealing the strongbox early does make you a bit of a target, so you have to watch that. So here I play the sheriff on myself, and I did play it face down. So it's a bit of an odd move maybe, but otherwise I would have been just stuck there. So I'm looking to get out and try and get that gunslinger bonus because that obviously if you get the strongbox and the gunslinger bonus, that's pretty much the game right there. Everyone else is going to be fighting over the loot. Now Django shoots me, I shoot back, and he can't push me any further than I am, so I'm still at the locomotive. Belle shoots, and she took a bullet a bit earlier. Doc is got no one to shoot right now, and we head into the tunnel again. So again, really unpredictable. No idea what people are necessarily going to do. So I'm going to move into this space with Belle, and that may have been a bit of a risk because obviously if she's going to punch, then it was an issue potentially. But anyway, I punch her out of there, which is great, and sets up the loot. Now she is collecting the loot, and the sheriff, Doc, plays well, gets Django out of there, and guards all that treasure because there really isn't a lot of treasure left. So anyway, so there's one tunnel, a double move. This is a very full turn, and the sheriff's going to drop a strongbox. So if he drops it where he is right now, that could be a really great car to get into. Now again, you see the bullets. 3 bullet cards out of 6. It's almost an unplayable hand, but luckily I have more or less what I need. I just need to grab that loot, move down into the car again, or some combination. But actually, I do decide to take some cards there and kind of violate my own rule. I don't like taking 3 cards on a tunnel turn because it just feels like such a waste. But I was just going for gold, so I played the sheriff and the change of altitude, and I'm going to try and essentially get out of dodge here. And the funny thing is, I've had 1 shooting card so far. So the gunslinger bonus, we're round 4 here, so the gunslinger bonus, luckily it's close, but it's going to be a bit tough to get at this stage. So anyway, I pick up the treasure. That's great. Puts me in a good position. $2,000. Doc moves over to get that other one. Take yet another bullet. And because it's Django, I actually get pushed one car over than I had planned. Because I picked up cards, it doesn't do anything. So my move here with the sheriff is a little bit odd. No real good direction, but I'm just going to keep him away from me. And still have a position to guard that car with all the treasure, and I'm going to get out of dodge. Belle runs all the way, and this is where again you have an AI, and sometimes the AI makes silly moves. So that's an example. Doc again, another silly move, moves upstairs and punches the air. Django runs around. Really, not much he could do, especially if he's looting. I'm not sure what his plan was. So, anyway, so I've got a choice. I'm going to move away from my opponents, and Belle's going to loot, and there's nothing there. And Doc moves across, setting himself up to get in that car. Django drops down. So really just maneuvering around at this point. There is a new strongbox where the sheriff is, so Belle may have been anticipating that. And so hey, if you can end up on the locomotive, you get a little bit of extra ransom. And look at this hand. 2 bullets again. No shooting cards. I've had 1 shooting card this entire game. Pretty tough to win the gunslinger award when that's the case. So here it was a gamble. Do I loot first or do I move first and then loot? And because I saw the cards, I knew that there was no punches coming. Although there's potentially a risk here. If Doc had a punch card that he could, if he was in my space, then he was going to get me. So I was going to run and then once again head to the roof. I'm not going to try for the locomotive. Just playing the cards I got. It is the last round, so there's no point in grabbing 3 cards at this stage. So I'm hoping just to run in, grab some loot, run back, and head to the roof. And we'll see how this goes. Got a little bit confusing by the end. So Belle takes a shot at Doc, which is great. And Doc moves away from me, which is perfect. Django well out of the game at this point. Not sure where he's at. So I'm going to move to the car there, and Doc is going to move down into the sheriff's car. And again, going after the strongbox, but the AI made a dumb move there. I grabbed the jewel. It's the only loot card I have because I had so many darn bullet cards in hand, so there wasn't much I could do. You can see Doc was setting up stealing the strongbox, and now I'm just going to run as far away as I can. Hopefully Django is not going to... Well, I guess if Django drops down on me, it's too late anyway. So I've got 2,500 in loot. I do not have the gunslinger award, not by a long shot. And so we all congregate on the roof there. No one gets the bonus. And that is the end of the game. So it was a really weird game, especially as TUCO, where you're expecting to get the gunslinger award. I had one shooting card the whole game, but luckily I had just enough loot to pull out a win. It was really close, but hey, sometimes Colt Express can be a bit crazy. Anyway, I hope you got some value out of this video, and if you did, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll look forward to seeing you here next time on Legendary Tactics.